Rest of 6.6 is like this. We're going to talk about solving equations when you have more than like one portion to it. So let's say you have this. It says solve.
Is this one graphing?
If it says solve, is that graphing? No. Okay. So I have solve x plus 1 equals the square root of 7x plus 15. How do you think I should start to solve this?
Take the square. So get rid of the radical.
How do you get rid of a radical? By doing what? Squaring it. So if I square one side, I have to square the other side, yes? So when I square this, this becomes squared. Okay, that cancels, giving me 7x plus 15 on this side. But this side gives me x plus 1 times x plus 1, yes?
Yes.
So what do I have to do from there?
Distribute.
Yeah, what?
What?
X times x is x squared. X times 1 is x, and then x times 1 is x, and then 1 times 1 is equals 7x plus 15. What do you think I need to do now?
Divide the x's.
Yeah, combine like terms. X squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 7x plus 15. Now what do I need to do?
Subtract it.
No. I want to set everything equal to 0 so I can factor. So I want to get 7x and 15 onto the other side.
Subtract 15.
Yep. I'm going to subtract 7x and I'm going to subtract 15. So you get x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. Now, we have to factor. What multiplies to give me negative 14 and adds to give me negative 5?
Negative
7, 2.
Yes, negative 7 and positive 2, because negative 7 times positive 2 gives me negative 14, and negative 7 plus 2 gives me negative 5. So that means that this is x equals 7, right? Or x equals negative 2. These are extraneous solutions, because there are two possible answers. You have to plug both in and check. You have to. So we're going to plug it back into the original equation, okay? The original equation said x plus 1 equals the square root of 7x plus 15. So if I plug 7 in, I get 7 plus 1 equals the square root of 7 times 7 plus 15. 7 plus 1 is 8. What's 7 times 7?
49.
And what's 49 plus 15? And so does, what happens when you take the square root of 64?
It equals 8.
You get plus or minus 8, right? Plus or minus 8. So it equals 8. So that one checks out. So I know 7 is an answer. Now
Why
I have
did
to,
you do x plus 1 squared?
because when you get rid of the radical here, you have to square this side, which means you have to square
Oh,
that.
On the other side.
Now I need to plug in the negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 equals the square root of 7 times negative 2 plus 15. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. 7 times negative 2 is 14, negative 14. And what's negative 14 plus 15? So does negative 1 equal 1? No, it does not. So the only answer is x equals 7.
That's all.
That's it
That's it? All I gotta do?
for that problem.
Wow.
We're going to do one other one and then I'm going to give you homework.
That was cold.
Okay. Now we're going to solve a problem that looks like this. And it's going to say the square root of x plus 2. And then plus 1 equals the square root of 3 minus x. do you think we solve this?
Square the rounded.
Okay, so if I square this side, I have to square this whole thing. Okay, not just the radical. This radical cancels out and it gives me 3 minus x. However, this means that I have this. Yes? Okay, I have 2 of those. Now,
Wait, is that x? Is that radical x plus 2 plus 1? Or is there
it's
like,
radical x plus 2 and then plus 1 on the outside.
okay, because the one on top, it just looks like it's supposed to be a number.
No, it's x plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so now I have to FOIL this. What happens when you FOIL the square root of x plus 2 times the square root of x plus 2? You just get x plus 2 because the square roots cancel out with the squared that happens. So I get x plus 2. Okay? I'm going to put this like this so that I can see how it works. Now, what is the square root of x plus 2 times 1? What is the square root of x plus 2 times 1? What's anything times 1? The square root of x plus 2. Then I have that again. I have the square root of x plus 2 times 1. So I get the square root of x plus 2. Then I have 1 times 1. That should be easy. Okay, now combine like terms, right? Okay. So if I combine like terms, I'm going to end up doing this. I don't have to have these around here. I have an x. What's 2 and 1 together? 3, right?
Yes.
What is x plus 2 plus x plus 2? How about 2 radical x plus 2? Like that, yes? And then equals 3 minus x. We're going to want this to be by itself, so we want to get rid of these 2 things. I'm going to subtract x, I'm going to subtract 3. Subtract 3, subtract x, and I get 2 radical x plus 2 equals negative 2x, yes? Because the 3's cancel, correct? Now, how do I get rid of this 2?
Divided.
Divide by 2. So then I have the square root of x plus 2 equals negative x, yes? How do you get rid of a radical?
Square.
Now, do you see, when there is a radical on both sides, you're going to have to square it 2 separate times, okay? So here, this cancels and gives me x plus 2. What is negative x squared? X squared. Now, I need to set it equal to 0, so I'm going to move these 2 things over there. So that I get 0 equals x squared minus x minus 2. Well, multiplies to give me negative 2, but adds to give me negative 1. Multiplies to give me negative 2, adds to give me negative 1. 1 and negative 2. So then x equals negative 1 or x equals 2. Are we done yet? No, what do we have to do? To the original. So the original said the square root of x plus 2 plus 1 equals the square root of 3 minus x. I'm going to start by plugging negative 1 in. Negative 1 plus 2 plus 1 equals 3 minus negative 1, right? What's negative 1 plus 2? So I have the square root of 1 plus 1 equals the square root of 4. What's the square root of 1? So 1 plus 1 equals, what's the square root of 4? Does 2 equal 2? Yes. So negative 1 works. Now, we plug in 2. Square root of 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals the square root of 3 minus 2. 2 plus 2 is, so I have 4, and then 1, and then I have the square root of 1, right? What's the square root of 4?
2.
2 plus 1 equals the square root of 1, and then I have 3 equals 1, not an option, so that is my solution. Sometimes both of them will work, a lot of times they won't. Those are the,
Will we get one? Will we get one where both of them don't work?
no.